Alright, Knights of Apollo, welcome back to NTW3, the mod for Napoleon Total War, which adds a bunch of new factions, units, and changes the mechanics of the game pretty drastically to give it a more realistic feel, a bit more tactical and strategic feel that makes it just, I don't know, it just feels like history is coming to life. It's very cool. We've got a massive battle here. This is a 4v4 Russia versus France, so very epic. And also the battlefield is just open. It's just wide open. There's a couple little clusters of buildings and towns that they can use for defensive positions, but overall this is going to be a pretty open battlefield. Now the French are bringing 3 French armies, and I believe they have like the Saxony-Poland faction as one of their armies. I don't know much about the history of like the Saxony-Poland thing. Is it the dual monarchy of Saxony and Poland? I don't know. I think they've done this a couple times throughout history, but I'll just refer to them as Poland. Again, I'm sorry if I'm wrong about what this faction is. I'm pretty sure, I mean, that's the Polish Eagle, so yeah, anyways, they're going to be holding this little town here. Now, this is LOC, which means line of communication. And you can see that different buildings here are worth different points. So we'll see at the end of the timer who is going to have the most points. They are going to be the victorious side. Now, it looks like the Russians are scouting up ahead. I'm just kind of looking at what the forces have. It's a pretty cool shot right here. You know, just showing what they see. They're like, yep, that's infantry, all right. That's some Polish infantry there, maybe. And then we don't really see any of the French infantry just yet. But look at this. The Russians have a massive force here, and I think the Russians, like, their armies are based on like certain Russian commanders. I think this is just like a cav corps or something of that nature. I'm not really too sure, but this is just a ton of Russian cav. I mean, it is insane the amount of cav on this battlefield. That's why I love this mod too. It makes the cav units huge, just absolutely massive, and it gives it this epic grand feeling. It's just really cool. It appears the infantry here, the Polish infantry, is starting to advance from this hill they have here. They've got this like nice hill position next to this town, but the Russians have established a really nice artillery position as well up on a slope of their own, and have kind of been shelling that Polish position for a while now, just trying to soften it up and you know, weaken them. I don't know if it's actually working in causing the Polish to advance forward, try to like force an engagement so they're not constantly getting, you know, shot at by the cannons, or force something to happen. He must be losing a lot of troops here, which is causing him to be fairly aggressive. Now, the French are still AFK. I don't know where they are. I've seen a couple French cav units just kind of scattered around here and there. We got more cav here. We've got another cav unit over here as well. But the Russian cav has been kind of wandering around looking for the French army, and I have no idea where they are. They're being super passive right now. I don't know if if they're all just up here holding this hill. That might be the case. We now can see some French artillery opening fire. Let's see what they're going for. I think they're going for the units by this ruined, it almost looks like church here. Yeah, it looks like they're just going to go for the infantry and try to soften them up. But in terms of the battle, it's a very slow start, and we'll see how this one unravels here pretty soon. Actually, hold that thought. Here comes the Polish as they advance their infantry against the Russian forces. Well, it's been a slow process, but the Polish are slowly inching closer and closer towards the Russian infantry. Meanwhile, over on this side, there was, it looks like, a little bit of a cav engagement. The Russian cav is in retreat, but they do gather themselves, they calm down, and they're going to stop routing there. But yeah, I guess there was a small engagement there. Really not much going on at the first, like, I don't know, it's been a good 10 minutes or so. Like, nothing really happening, which is really bizarre to me. We do finally see some French infantry appear on the battlefield, so there they go. So that's good to see. Finally, like, the French side is getting aggressive. Now we have French, oh, okay, we have some Cav in the mix and some French infantry marching with the Polish, and I think they're going to try to take on the Russians head on here. I don't know if this is their strategy, if they're going to try to poke a hole through this Russian line, because if you look at this long Russian line here of infantry, Cav, I guess they assume they're going to try to, like, put a, like, you know, weaken them a little bit, and the Russians don't like what they see, and they're falling back. They're falling back. I wonder if they're going to try to angle the artillery to get some perfect fire on that infantry. I mean, imagine, I mean, that would, like, down those columns, you know, of infantry. It'd be perfect, but it doesn't look like they're going for it. And just kind of zoom out here and look around. What else is going on? Nothing really. This is kind of the hottest point of this battle right here, of these units of infantry. Let's see if they close in. Well, not a good look right here. The French are closing into this Russian infantry, but this Russian artillery this is a new one. This is not the same one. They're setting up some artillery, and they are about to open fire. If they can hurry up here, it looks like they're just getting here in time, and that might be why the Russians have fallen back, to kind of set up a newer position with this artillery. No, they're unlimbering the artillery. Why? Why? Now, we do have some rifles from the Russians that are opening fire and, you know, trying to soften them up, but that's not really going to slow them down much. But yeah, I guess I see what they're doing. They're kind of forming a little bit of a defensive U shape, I assume, on this hill. Now, we do have some more French troops that have shown up here on the screen, but again, they're not really pushing forward, unlike the you know, the battle over on this side. So still no major engagements here, but I think pretty soon the Russians are going to make their stand, and they're going to use this artillery, which finally they are unlimbering, and this is going to be, whoa, look at all the French cav. That just came out of nowhere. My goodness. This is pretty surreal to see all this cav pushing forward. Let's see if he can get aggressive here. The Russians know they are outmatched in terms of cav in this section of the battlefield. I don't think they want to force an engagement here. I don't even think they want to engage at all, you know, and it looks like the French do. And look at this epic charge of cav. So finally, we have our first major engagement. The French cav able to catch the Russian cav out of position. They just didn't have enough space to retreat and reform. And that's a pretty big win for the French, but they can't get too ahead of themselves. They need to get this French cav out of here because they're getting a little too close to the Russian infantry. Now the French infantry is making a bold dash. He's going with some very thick lines here. I don't know if this is intentional or just out of panic here. Now he's going to charge into cav again because he sees the Russians are retreating. Yeah, you never want to turn your back on cav like that. For that exact reason. It's like turning your back on a predator animal, you know? You want to stand up tall, you want to watch them, you know, you want to make sure they're not making a move on you, and if they are making a move on you, you know, you form square. Defensive. I guess is that kind of weird analogy? It's kind of like when you see a black bear in the forest. You're not supposed to run away. You're supposed to look tall, make a lot of noise, be scary, and that's kind of what the infantry needs to do there. But anyways, the Russians are going to finally stop falling back, and now things are going to get really intense with the line infantry on this flank of the battle. That artillery has a really good position. Really good position. Now we do have this really random unit of skirmishers that are just like, what's going on? Why are they not just like charging them really fast, getting them out of here? The French must be so focused on something else. Like it's hard to believe that these rifles were just able to get away with this. And now they're charging in. They're gonna cause a mass rout. What are they doing? There we go. The French are gonna send up something. What is happening here? Is this unit just like... Okay, I think he's finally retreating. And he realizes, hey, what are these, Bavarians? They got the Bavarian style uniforms. They're pushing up to kind of join up with this line here. And whoa, big Russian engagement with Cav. The French are falling back, but the Russians are pursuing. We have Russian Cav charging into the French infantry as well. And that was just like a painting, man. Such a beautiful game. But yeah, this is getting pretty spicy over on that side. If we head back over to the other side of the battlefield, we do have some small skirmishing, I guess you could call it. I don't even know. I don't think anyone's really fought here. It looks like they're fighting, but you know, based on the mini-map. But there is some... there's a considerable amount of distance between the units and nothing really going... Oh, okay, there we go. They're shooting at Cav. Yeah, they're shooting at this Cav unit. So there's some gunfire. And what is going on way over here? What is this? Oh, there's a little fight over here between Russia and Poland. It looks like Russia takes it. They have this random flanking unit, so it's good to know. Let's go back over to this other side because this is wild over here. This is getting extremely heated. And look at all the French forces. I mean, I kind of like what the French did here with this initial strategy where they were super defensive pretty much everywhere on the battlefield except for here. And I feel like they stacked a ton of infantry to kind of push on this flank. And the Russians aren't really doing anything about it except holding their ground here. You would think that they would try to push elsewhere, thinking that maybe the French forces would be weaker somewhere else. But this is not good. This is a bit of a mess here. Look at this, just chaos. We have a death of a general. Enemy general has fallen. That is really good for the Russian team as the French forces lose a little bit of their leadership. But the Russian Cav not able to break that French mob. And the French infantry continue to push forward. And things are getting just really chaotic here. I mean, just there's smoke everywhere. There's uneven lines. There's some units pushed up. There's some units pushed back. Lots of Russian infantry starting to break here. Oof. Artillery opening fire, getting dangerously close of shooting their own men. And this is their point of view right here. Oof, nice point blank fire. The French better hurry up and start putting some returning fire onto that artillery if they want to prevent their infantry from breaking here. But look at the sight. Imagine being, you know, in the front line of this unit and you see all the artillery, all the infantry maneuvering up there. It has to be terrifying. And look how close they're getting. Oh, they're going for a charge. That's why. Oh, no. Yeah, why? Why, though? I think he had plenty of opportunity. Oh, this isn't good. Why is he blobbing up in front of the Russian artillery? Not a good sight to see there. The Russians are also kind of outstretching them. Like, the French are too blobbed up here right in front of this artillery. That is going to be disaster if the Russians can pull off a couple of canister shots here. This might just turn this battle around over on this side. Looks like the Russians are going in for another charge here. I think the Russians might want to try to, like, keep these guys intact. Like, keep them blobbed up so the artillery can keep firing. Now the Russians, oh, look at that. Russians went in for a charge. They did break the Bavarian soldiers. And now a huge, oh my god, this is like just a massive melee. Look at this massive cav charge. While that's unraveling, it does seem like things are heating up at the center. This is like the center, I guess, right from the Russian point of view. Things are heating up here with the infantry battle. We got French infantry taking on the Russian infantry. Not as wild, though, as the other side of the battlefield, but just keep in mind the fight is picking up elsewhere on this this battlefield. So let's go back over here. Yeah, this is this needs to get cleaned up fast for the French. He can't blob up like this. You're just asking for mass rout, mass casualties. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. So he needs to reform. The Russians, though, luckily for this French player whose army is just a complete mess right now, luckily for him, the Russians are falling back and reforming. So it's going to give him time as well to kind of reform his army. And Saxony is over here. Saxony, Poland. They're over here with some troops as well to kind of support the French. So much needed support. What is he doing? Why is he just... He's making some weird movements here. Let's go to the other side because things are really picking up here now. So yeah, this is definitely now the hot spot of the battle, as there's thousands of troops currently shooting at each other. Russians over here just kind of hold right at this creek here. I believe this is a creek. I mean, it kind of looks like it when you zoom out, but when you zoom in, it just looks like a road spray painted blue. But yeah, they're just making their stand here. A nice solid line of Russian infantry. We'll see how the French kind of approach this. And oh no, the Russians are stepping back a few. Are they full on retreating? Looks like it. I guess they see something they don't like. Let's head back over here. Let's see how this is playing out. What is the French player doing? What is he doing? He's got a river of men kind of slicing through some allied forces. But I think it's the artillery. He just doesn't want to be near the artillery. And I think that's why he's shifting places, I assume. And here we go. We've got a French cav charge going, I assume, for artillery. We'll see what they go for. Some hussars. Go for some artillery here, but I wonder if he was just trying to keep the Russian infantry a little busy as the French infantry form up, and they certainly are forming up. They're sending a couple units here and there. That's what, okay, so that's what I assume the French are doing. They're just kind of getting away from this side. They don't like what they see here. They got the Russian artillery and everything, so they're just shifting their troops more onto the flank. And they're gonna this actually might work pretty well here. I was pretty critical of this strange movement, but it might pay off if he can get around and surround this Russian infantry. And it looks like they are gonna get a pretty nice flanking fire. Here we go, ready? The hill's a little bit in their way, but that's okay. They should get a shot here. The Russians are simply gonna fall back though. Yeah, that's a smart move from the Russian player. He's outmaneuvered there, so he needs to reform and get a better position. Let's go back over to the center of this battle where things have kind of slowed down a little bit. It looks like we had a Russian cav charge. Not sure what it led to, but we have some French infantry just kind of holding this hill. Look at the little divots here from the cannons just striking this hill and going for this infantry. Oh, that's got to be terrifying. That has got to be terrifying. Being an infantryman, seeing all that Russian infantry and just hearing the cannons fly overhead or fall right in front of you. Oh, or that happens. Someone just lost their head in the front row. Man, imagine if they made Napoleon that gory where limbs were coming off and heads are just being annihilated by cannonballs. Oh, it would be gruesome. And this is really getting interesting on this side. Really interesting. I like what they're doing here. They've got the French ally here just kind of opening fire and harassing the Russians as they try to counter maneuver, right? As the French try to maneuver around them. Oh, I would have held the ground there. Just hold your ground. Wait, what's going on? Yeah, you fall back into the maneuvering French forces. I guess the French are gonna hold here. Oh, you gotta watch out for friendly fire. Yeah, the Russians are going full. They're like, no, stop maneuvering. We are maneuvering. I'm gonna try to pin you up by charging in a couple units into melee. Look at this, just absolute mad lad, this Russian player. And sure enough, the Russians do not get anything done there. What happened over here? Was this a cav charge? Oh yeah, we've got a cav charge right into a big blob of infantry, and it's causing a mass rout. I wonder if that Russian infantry charge was a diversion so his cav can get in here and just take out, what, 4 or 5 units of infantry? Absolutely fantastic play by the Russian player. And now he's going to try to save his cav and get him out of there and reform. Really great job. The French try to form square, but it's just a little too late. What a crazy fight over here. An absolute slugfest, back and forth. Now towards the center right of the Russian point of view, the French are moving forward with their infantry. We are about halfway through the timer. And it's pretty crazy that we're already halfway through the battle timer when, you know, there really hasn't been that much fighting because this battle started off so slow. But it's definitely picking up a lot of pace here. And the Russians utterly just full stopped the French advance here because of that cav charge. And now Poland and or Saxony, Poland, they're moving up their troops and just sending whatever they have, but this is not enough. This is not enough to take this Russian force down. So I think the Russians, I mean, at times I felt like the Russians were losing this engagement, but really clutch play with the cav, and he kind of turned this battle completely around. But we'll see how this one plays out because it's still anyone's game on this side. The thing that concerns me the most for this force here is that they're so disconnected from the main army that's in the center. It's going to be tough to get reinforcements over here, where for the Russians, that's not the case. They've got plenty of troops. They've got a nice line of communication here, a line of troops, a line of reinforcements that can stream in. And also, they have the high ground up here, so they can use that. And I think they like this engagement. That's why they're advancing forward. They're like, all right, you know, you don't want to fall back? Okay, game on. Let's go. All right, we've got a big engagement here over in the center. The Russians have some dragoons that looked like they were going to go for a charge, but a very wise play with the French player here, forming square, preventing any kind of Russian damage. You know, Russian prevention squad here. Oh, but look at this. They get charged by some infantry. Man, Russia, I love the aggressiveness from Russia. And, oh, they're sending in the cav. I don't know if that's a smart play. Even though the square is engaged in melee, they're still in square formation. I don't know. We'll see how this plays out, but I think Russia's getting a little too aggressive here. I know I just said I like the aggressiveness, but this is a little extreme. Yeah, see, they're not winning this engagement. That's just not a good engagement. They're still in square formation. And nice stand over here with this French infantry, kind of stopping Russian reinforcements. Or infantry closing in. Oh, man. This is such a beautiful game. It really is. Such a gorgeous game. Such a beautiful mod. I mean, just look at the smoke in the background as these troops sit on a hill and there's bodies and dead horse corpse, you know, in the center here with like smoke coming from the ground and artillery shelling it, and it's so cool. It really is like the best Total War experience in my opinion. It's just so good. Let's go back over here. The center is getting really spicy. We actually have a lot of French forces mixed in with their Polish Saxony ally. They're going for this ruined church, but the Russians going in for again, reckless charge. It's not going to work out for them, and they're going to have to fall back. Let's get a bird's eye view of the situation. We've gotten a lot of good close-ups, but let's see what the heck's going on from afar. Now, it looks like the Russians are very capable with all this cav, all this infantry, of folding this flank, but they haven't done it. They're not doing it. Meanwhile, the center, the French are hitting the center very hard. They're losing over here, which no surprise. He should have fallen back. He should have fallen back from this side. The Polish, Saxony Polish, whatever you want to call them. They should have fallen back here as soon as their French allies started to crumble, because they were completely outnumbered, outmatched, and he certainly was. And now he is suffering the consequences of that. So a tragic loss right there, and honestly, I'm starting to worry for the French side. I think that if the French want to win this fight, they really need to get aggressive here and have a solid victory. Like in the center where they're taking this church, they need to get aggressive here and really kill and wipe out a lot of units, because look at the reinforcements right now. If all these troops are going to be able to very easily either push forward and kind of fold around the French lines, or he can simply send reinforcements over to the center and help hold it. Oh, here comes some Russian cav. This has been a real nuisance for the French and, the French forces. When I say French forces, I mean all of these factions on the French team here. The cav has been a real pain for them. But let's see if this infantry can hold here. Their morale is dropping, but they're holding. And the French infantry from afar is supporting them, trying to snipe out the horses. And I think they're actually going to hold here. Very good use of this reinforcement, reserve force. Just kind of opening fire from afar. They do lose their infantry, but that's okay. They're not going to lose any more than that. And they do break the cav. And now the infantry continue to pursue here. Just an absolute beautiful battlefield. Now, I don't know. He might be wasting shots here. I think he's wasting shots with this infantry as they're firing into the hill. Unless this unit is focusing the units down here, which might be the case. Those are things you got to watch out for when you play Napoleon. Even in vanilla, when you play it, kind of zoom in on your troops and see what they see, because you don't want to waste ammo on shooting the dirt. Like it's not going to get you anywhere. Same thing over here. These cannons are just firing into the hill, and I don't think they're really getting much production out of these 12-pounder artillery pieces. But yeah, this battlefield is absolutely gorgeous. I love how lush and green it is. It's hilly. It's got some cool ruins on it. It's just absolutely fantastic. The smoke and the fire, it looks really good. Ooh. Some great artillery fires coming down on the French forces. This is not a good sight for the French, as they're having to deal with a lot of firepower. And here we go. The Russians are going with a maneuver here, trying to swing around the French lines. We do have a couple Saxony-Polish infantry that have recovered from breaking, I assume. Just looking at their numbers, they look fairly depleted, but that's okay. It's a little bit of resistance. It's a little bit of a defense where you can prevent the Russians from easily getting behind this French advance. But the French got to do... Oh, no! Russian Cav going in for the charge again! What a big mess that is right there. That's a huge break. A huge break for them. And now, whoa, look at this Cav engagement. An absolute huge Cav charge from both sides, and it looks like the Russians are going to come out on top. And it's looking pretty rough for the French side. Gonna be honest, it's looking very rough for them. I don't see any locations where they are winning this fight. It looks like to me that the Russians are kind of dominating this battlefield from a little shaky start over on this side. You can see the carnage of what's left over here. I mean, look at this. Absolute slaughter on this side. And it was a little rough for the Russians, but it wasn't ever like disastrous for them. But as soon as that one Cav charge and it broke all those French units, they've been dominating the battlefield right now. And I think they know it. Look how aggressive they're getting. Charging the artillery. Smart move there. Oh, hurry, 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 hurry. Oh, that was close. Oh, yeah, lots of breaking here. Saxony-Polish forces are trying to throw whatever units they've got to try to hold this front, but it just doesn't look like it's going to happen here. And we're seeing a ton of routing from the French, and Napoleon is not going to be too happy. He's not going to be too happy. Another general falls to the Russian blade, as their Cav continues to be a menace on this battlefield. And honestly, France just never really had any opportunity here. I mean, it just was even from the start. And, you know, this battle is still going. Like, it's obviously not over yet. But from what I've seen, it's over. No, I mean, this battle wasn't the closest of fights. But it had some epic moments. I mean, just total chaos and just clash of thousands of troops. I mean, it's still going on, and it still is a beautiful looking battle. Oof. Now, oof. Some friendly artillery getting some cav there. But yeah, the Russian cav was just way too much for the French. There we go. They're pushing up, and that's causing a huge rout in the French lines. And I'm just kind of looking around and trying to find. This is just a field day for the Russians at this point, as they're just running down, breaking French troops. And guys, I think that's the battle. I think that's going to conclude it. Just no luck with trying to push the Russians back. It seems like whenever the French had a moment of any kind of like hope. Oh, here's a little assassination attempt here. I respect it. Going for the general, I assume. But yeah, if there was any hope of like penetrating through the Russian lines, it was utterly shattered by a well-timed Russian cav charge. And that really won the day there. There's some sloppy microing over on this side, sloppy troop movement, which caused some needless casualties. But other than that, yeah, I mean, it's just the cav play for the Russians was top notch. So right now, guys, we're just witnessing them run down and break and rout the French forces. So we're gonna go ahead and just fast forward and get to the end results and check out some of these kills. Alright guys, so here is the end results, and here are all the player names. You can see that the French team really struggled there. One of their armies getting only 394 kills. The Polish army here getting 450 kills. On the other side, the Russians just dominated. This was a quick battle for this game. I know, it's kind of surreal to say that. Even though the video is probably going to be longer than like 30 minutes or so. But yeah, this was a quick battle of just pure domination, but it was still really epic. Some really cool scenes in this fight, and I hope you enjoyed the battle nonetheless. So I'm always looking for more NTW3 battles. Again, 4v4s, 1v1s, whatever, just epic battles. Send them to my Discord. There's a link to my Discord down in the video description. If you guys enjoyed this fight, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. I do appreciate it, and I'll see you next time on the battlefield.